What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the party. Hope you're having a wonderful night or day. I wanted to talk about Scars of Honor again today because recently Armegon, the CEO and creative director, did another stream recap of a live stream in which he showcased a sneak peek of the current development build. This is a build that is not optimized, not polished, and does not provide the full content. The first thing he showcases is the inventory inside the game, and in it he confirms that every item only takes one place. One thing I want to draw attention to is a previous slide in which he poses the question, is extra bag space pay to win or convenience? I think this is likely a poll he was running in an earlier portion of the stream. I think there's only certain games in which people truly consider it to be pay to win, and those are games like BDO where you tend to get a lot of trash items anytime you're farming mobs, so your ability to progress faster is kind of directly tied to your inventory slots and weight expansions. I think that's where anyone who's voting that option is pay to win may be coming from. In a quick moment, he also shows off the equipment menu. On the left side, we can see the equipped items. We have a helmet slot, chest slot, bracers, what appears to be a belt, the boot slot, the shoulder pads, necklace, main and offhand weapon, pants, and 2 ring slots. So quite a decent amount of equipment to choose from, and on the left side we see the character stats. Armegon is playing a level 16 ranger on this character, and we can see that the ranger has dexterity, intelligence, and vitality as its primary stats, followed by its power stats and advanced stats. For power stats we have attack and spell power, and for advanced stats we have armor, magic defense, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, armor penetration, magic penetration, cooldown reduction, spell haste, health regeneration, and more that we can't see because it doesn't scroll down that far on his screen. When he returns back to talking about the demo, he then states that everything we're seeing right now, such as equipment, is just a development item and isn't something that we will see, likely meaning that it'll have updated assets when it's time for the demo phase. He also confirms that they are working constantly to improve the game and making sure that it's getting better and better. He also points out that one of the things they're working to improve is lighting. There's also missing translation at the moment, but we shouldn't worry about this because, like he stated, it's a development build. In the inventory, he also showcases that there are different stash tabs, one for equipment, one for consumables, one for materials, and one for miscellaneous, meaning that each category is separated and you won't have to worry about your inventory being bogged down by all items combined. Each tab has 30 slots, but Armegon stresses that the current inventory is configurable. They can decide if it's too small or needs to be changed. He next shows off the scar system, and in it we can see that there are both level-based scars and challenge-based ones. I've seen conflicting confirmations from users in Discord that the level cap might be anywhere from 40 to 50, but for the demo it's been said that we will be starting at level 16, so at least we have confirmation on that. In a previous livestream/video, Armegon also commented that different bosses being killed will let us get predefined scars, so it sounds like these challenge-based ones will be coming from those. It's also said that we will be able to reroll our scars, so if you're worried about getting one that doesn't fit for the type of build you're going for, don't worry about that. And the next thing he shows off is the talent point system, which is freaking huge. He expresses his excitement on stream about this, and rightly so. The game takes inspiration from both World of Warcraft and Path of Exile, so the second game is likely why we're going to have such huge build diversity. One thing he highlights, however, is that this is not the final. When we see this in the upcoming demo in spring, it'll be even better. He next shows off the fact that we're able to make our character movements with just one hand, WASD. Similar to a recent developer update we covered regarding Chrono Odyssey, in Scars of Honor your camera will not follow your character's movement and you can freely move backwards or side to side without your camera tracking with it. However, you can use W and right mouse click to have your camera seamlessly follow your movement like shown in this next part. He then spawns some NPCs that allow him to showcase the combat system. He starts off with using auto attack and stresses that this is also something that's not finalized. One thing to take note of immediately is that there does appear to be a cooldown tied to both the auto attack and both of those two other skills. My guess is at least one of these is more area of effect based to allow us to deal with mob packs faster than if we just use single target. But in between that we do seem to be capable of casting other skills, so this is likely what's going to speed our combat experience up quite a bit. I really enjoyed games that employed this type of system, like this reminds me of Final Fantasy XIV, and I had a lot of fun in that game playing Dragoon and Samurai and using a combo system of sorts that looks similar to this. In this clip he also confirms that animations are not synced perfectly, but we can at least get the gist of how it will look. He then shows off an ability called Arcane Surge, which allows the mage to swing their weapon, dealing damage to the target, and in the process of this, we gain a barrier on each hit. He also shows off a Cosmic Orb, which throws a sphere of cosmic energy in a targeted location, dealing damage plus an additional 1% of the current target's HP if they're located in the center. In the very next clip, he also shows off an ability called Stormbreaker, which builds up an electric explosion and then unleashes it after a small delay. In the next clip, he showcases how we can also use our auto attack by right-clicking while targeted onto an NPC. We also get a bigger look at the talent tree, and he hovers over a few of the starting paths while doing so. This one in particular says Cosmic Knowledge and states that for every 100 mana spent, it reduces the cooldown of one ultimate spell by 1 second. The next one is Advanced Magicka. All non-auto attacks deal 20% more damage but now cost 20% more mana. Another one which looks very interesting is Mounted Sorcerer. While mounted, regenerate 5% of your maximum mana every second. We also have Impenetrable Barrier, which allows it to decay 100% slower and have a 50% maximum amount, which kind of makes me wonder if you could go for sort of a mage tank kind of build. This is also where he confirms that he's a huge fan of Path of Exile, which is showing clearly by the sheer scale of this talent tree. It looks incredible. One thing he also mentions is that after having a discussion with the team, he believes they need to reduce the VFX intensity on plenty of the spells. He recounts a time he went into the battleground one day during testing, and as soon as the fighting began, he was mind blown by the amount of VFX that was happening. So right now the team is working on optimizing the visuals and making sure that 50 to 60% of all spells have their intensity lowered so that the moment we start fighting, it's not overpopulating our screen. The next section of this recap dives into why they chose this art style. Armegon states that there are several reasons why they did this. The first reason why they decided to go stylized graphics is that, as we know, making an MMORPG takes time. It takes a lot of time. If they had chosen realistic, super cool types of graphics, the moment after 5 years when they're about to deliver the game into our hands, the graphics at that point will likely be outdated, because realistic graphics change a lot throughout the time and it ages so fast. I think something that can definitely be said about this, I do think that if you're capable of pushing the boundary within those 5 years of what a game looks like graphically, I think something that can definitely be said about this, I do think that if you're capable of pushing the boundary within those 5 years of what games look like graphically, you may not be outdated. But for the vast majority of titles, it is possible that you will be. If we take it back to the early 2000s, one of the games, if it can be considered an MMO, that I feel started pushing the boundaries graphically is Vindictus, which was previously known as Mabinogi Heroes in the East. When that game came out, I don't think there was anything like it on the market, unless it was in Korea or China. Fast forward about 10 years and we get Black Desert. Again, pushing the boundaries and looks incredible doing it, although the gameplay loop was definitely grueling in parts. 5 years past that, BDO is still a beautiful game. If someone wants to create something truly groundbreaking in 2026 and beyond, they probably need at least 5 to 10 years and a shiz ton of money and developers. On top of that, they need to hope beyond hoping that somebody else hasn't already started the exact same thing they're doing and beats them to the punch. They also have to hope that they have enough gameplay to back it up, because we've seen time and time again that good graphics does not mean good game. I, for one, have always held strong to gameplay over graphics. That's why no matter what, I'm always going to love playing indie games, and why people will come in and wonder why I can enjoy a game so much that looks like a potato. Another reason is that stylized graphics will have far less demand on your hardware. If a game can run on many different types of PCs versus a few, that means many more people can play it. One of the most important aspects of an MMORPG is being able to have a stable player base or as high of a player count as possible. Another strength Armegon mentions of stylized graphics is that it's way faster to develop and iterate over. When you combine all of these things, you have the answer with why they went with stylized graphics. He also takes it further and shows off the older versions of Scars of Honor and states that it still has that charm. This is an old version of the environment from 2022, and he knows it's not beautiful, but it does the job at the moment. This map he's showcasing is also a GM island that we won't have access to. We won't have access to it because visually, it's not up to the standards for us to play. He follows this up with the next section, which is why they're building this game. He starts by acknowledging that he's not the most typical CEO of a gaming company. The reasoning for this is that, first of all, he's a gamer. He's also a programmer though, which I wanted to take a moment to highlight because I believe this is something a lot of people will appreciate, and even hearing this, we don't usually see a leader of a company be so in tune with their game, even to the point of directly live streaming and interacting with the community. And I hope it's something we can really hold on to, because this isn't likely something we'll see in many MMOs going forward. He also follows this up by saying that he was so lucky to have the amazing team of Beastburst. They assembled an amazing team that is staying behind all the beautiful art, all the cool lore, all the materials made, and they're really giving meaning to this. What he can also say is that he's always prioritizing what the player wants. Recently, he had a meeting with one investor that wants to join the venture because he believes in the project. This is an investor that comes from another big project that recently had a big falling out. I'm sure all of you know which one. And the investor asked Armegon, "Why should we believe in you?" To To which he responded that you should not believe him until the moment it's in their hands. Beastburst is not a company that is revenue first and is always thinking about how they can squeeze money out of players' wallets. Their priority is what brings the biggest value to players, what makes the game fun. And last but not least, he also says that he's an MMORPG veteran, a fan of the genre, and he just wants to have a cool place to say that this is his MMORPG home. And he believes that very soon we will all have that home. He thinks that he has a good vision about the game and believes that he's perfected his understanding of what a good MMORPG is. But he still believes that this should be a game for all of us, not just for him. We might like some of the ideas he's had, we might not like some of the other ideas, but he's 100% here to listen and be with us every Sunday. Which, by the way, he does live stream every Sunday, and I really need to make an effort to join in and watch these. He believes there's one important thing that we all as players have missed when it comes to MMORPGs, and that's the experience. The experience of being inside a community, having something that we're all hyped about, that we're all passionate about. And this is the soul of an MMORPG. And he believes with every single day that it is becoming more and more of a reality, and that it's more alive than ever. He ends this by thanking us for being a part of the community he's forming. He's thankful for how energetic and active we are on the Scars of Honor Discord. For the Beastburst team, their goal is quality over quantity. And I think they're doing a great job of delivering that. I want to take another moment to thank Armegon for this recap and highlighting some of the key points of that live stream. Please let me know what you thought about this in the comments below, and actually, what's been your favorite thing about Scars of Honor so far? For me, it's been the talent tree point system. I was starting to think about if it would be possible for me to turn a warrior into a full-blown death knight, but after doing a full review of this recap, I think I'll likely have to wait until they incorporate a class capable of it. Possibly seeing it being a DPS paladin or dark paladin would be a thing, or wait until this becomes a possibility through the talent tree. But either way, I'm super excited to see what the future holds. Thanks again for watching, folks, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Farewell.